What's up guys, this video I'm going to be breaking down an insanely detailed dating app study that shows you 3 scientifically proven things you can do to increase your number of matches, as well as debunk some of the most popular dating app myths. Alright, so this study was sent to me by one of our subscribers, and as soon as I started going through it, I realized that this is fucking gold, because this gives you scientific data about what works better on dating apps. There's no more guesswork anymore, right? So it's called the 4 Big Myths of Profile Pictures, and it sets to answer some questions like, do you do better with shirt on or off, smile, not smile, stuff like that, which I kind of had my own theories on, but now we have data to really support it. So myth number 1, it's better to smile, right? So this is a question I get asked all the time. Yo, Alex, should I be smiling for my photos? And this is a mistake guys commonly make. They're always like trying to put on a smile, right? I always had a theory that it was better not to smile and kind of look away from the camera, but I didn't really have any data to support this. Well, now I do, besides my own data. So this is basically talking about, this breaks down what percentage of men smile, what percentage of women smile. Obviously, a lot more women smile in photos, no shit. And this gives you an example of what a smile looks like, right? As if you didn't know that. And if you look at the effect of women's facial attitude, it suggests that really, you can do whatever the fuck you want as a woman. So if you have a flirty face or you smile, you will do better. If you don't smile, if there is eye contact. But if there's no eye contact, you will do best if you're smiling. But okay, who cares? Let's take a look at a man's facial attitude and what difference it makes. And this is really, really fascinating. So the best alternative is no eye contact and not smiling. So it's basically doing this, right? Right? That is by far what performs the best. The second best place is smiling, but not looking at the camera, right? So it's like this. However, if you have a flirty face and you're not looking at camera, a flirty face would be like something like this, then I guess it comes off weird, right? So third best place is having a flirty face and looking at the camera. But by far, the thing that performs the best is not smiling and not looking at the camera, right? Kind of that far off look, which is something that I've always known, but now we have hard data to really support this, which is fucking awesome, I think. So this is an example of, a guy who's not really looking at the camera. Now, lighting is shit on this photo, but other than that, it kind of gives you demonstration. So again, so if you guys are taking photos, the key is not to smile and not to look at the camera, right? Now, you don't want to do this, but you kind of look to the side. Okay, let's take a look. So this is this mainly for chicks. The MySpace angle is busted, so it just talks about how as a girl that you can do photos like this, right? Where you're kind of looking up at the camera and they will still do well. But as a girl, do you really need to get more matches? Most girls are overwhelmed. So let's skip to this. Guys, myth number 3, guys should keep their shirts on. So I always said that if you have the body, you should show it off. But this is something that got pushed back. Girls like, oh, that's douchey. That's something douchebags do. No girls into that. But the data shows otherwise. The data shows that actually that shirtless photo does quite well. So let's take a look at the data here. So popular male photo context. So it's basically showing you, what is, what's the best type of photo, and obviously number 1 is with an animal. That's something I've always said. So if you're a dog, a cat, right, that photo will do really well. Second place, though, a very, very close second, is showing off the muscles, right? So here's an example of that, right? This one's not ideal because it doesn't show his face, but you can see that if you're showing off the muscles, that will do almost like 1% less than when you're with an animal. Now imagine if you're with an animal and you have your shirt off, how good would that photo do? So then third place is doing something interesting. That's like doing an activity photo, which you should have. Having fun with friends really doesn't do that well, right? And this is something I've always said, like no one cares about your fucking friends, right? A lot of guys have these bro pics where they were their boys, and I always had a theory that those photos don't do well, but this is actually supports data. Outdoors doesn't really perform as well. Maybe the photos they analyzed that were outdoors, weren't that good. I still think that outdoor photos are good, but the data says otherwise. Drinking doesn't do well in travel photos. Yeah, because no one really gives a shit. So the 3 best types of photos are if you're with an animal, you're shirtless, and you're doing something interesting. However, the caveat is this. The kind of guys who are typically have their shirt off are guys who are in better shape, right? So it's kind of like a little correlation thing. So if you're not in good shape, don't think you can just pop your shirt off and get a shirtless photo and have good results. No, you need to be in somewhat decent shape. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be super jacked, but kind of like this, guys, you can see, right? And this is also very, very interesting. So there's one caveat to this data, and that is the older you are as a guy, right, the worse that the shirtless photo is going to do, right? So there's a significant drop off. So you're like 19 and 20, right? A shirtless photo is going to do really, really well. But then as you get older, when you get to 31, basically, start performing well. However, even at the age of 31, a shirtless photo where you show off the abs still does better than the average photo, which is interesting. But you can see the trajectory is downwards, so I'm supposing that basically when you get to like the age of 35, 40, it kind of crosses over, right? Where a shirtless photo does the same as the average photo. But up until the age of 31, we have clear data that shows you that you're better off having a photo which shows off your abs than one that doesn't. And the younger you are, the more important this is, right? So the younger you're going, right, this is gonna help you even more. But either way, it's gonna be helpful, right? And so here's some more context. So this is basically just showing clothes, right? So, and this shows you that no shirt is by far the best. Normal clothes is like a lot lower, but all dressed up, where you wear like, being all fancy actually does a little bit worse than when you're wearing normal clothes, right? Because it shows that you're trying hard. I still think that having like one suit pick, if it matches well, it's like a good suit, can be beneficial. But I guess this data is basically suggesting that girls prefer the more casual look. Again, because it shows that you're not trying that hard. Now the question is, why do no shirt photos do well? Well, the dating marketplace is so competitive, right? The girls get flooded with so many matches, right? So if you have your shirt off and you have a good body, that's pretty polarizing. The girl looks at this and she's like, ooh, I'd fuck this guy, right? Which increases your chance of getting a match. Now maybe if the dating marketplace wasn't so cutthroat, the shirtless photos wouldn't do as well, because the girls could be like, well, I don't want to go for the douchey guy, whatever. But it's so competitive, so cutthroat, that you're better off taking the chance of being the douchey guy, because it will increase the likelihood of getting matches, right? So this is talking about basically how showing off your tits for a girl does pretty well. No fucking shit, right? We don't really need to analyze this. But yeah, it's basically saying show your tits and you'll get more matches. And this is also very interesting. It's showing, this is again for chicks, it's that it basically is also heavily weighed. So basically when you're younger, you're better off showing your tits. However, when you get to the age of 25, you're better off doing outdoorsy pics. But anyway, this is for chicks. So let's keep going through this. So this is also very interesting. So this is talking about basically what is the response rate when you're for sure those. However, this data I think is a little skewed, so let's skip through that. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Myth number 4: make sure your face is showing. We used to think that one ironclad rule on the internet dating photos was at least to show your face. In fact, we used to give this very advice in Okcupid photo upload page. Right? And this is really interesting. However, this data shows that actually not showing your face does as good as showing your face, which is honestly something that surprised me, right? So basically this is taking a look for men, and you can see that photos where you're showing the face did pretty much the same as photos where you're not showing face, which is interesting. So I guess that suggests that, like, you can get away with really not showing your face. Now, I do think at some point you should still show your face, right? Keep in mind this is a meta-analysis, right? So if a person has like 5 photos, 4 of them don't show his face, one photo shows his face, right? You can see how data is going to be skewed. But this is also very interesting. This says, but the fact that we're very stubborn, your face doesn't necessarily matter. In fact, not showing your face can in fact be a positive, as long as you substitute in something unusual, sexy, or mysterious enough to make people want to talk to you. Really fucking fascinating, right? So you can have hooks like that. And I'm gonna share personal experience. So back in the day before Tinder became all SJW, I used to have this profile where I actually didn't show my face. It was like a shirtless ab selfie, and then I had a bunch of BDSM photos, right? Like memes and shit like that, and one photo where I'm holding handcuffs. I didn't show my face once in that profile. And what I noticed that compared to my regular profile, the one where I'm not showing my face got a little bit less matches, yes, but those matches were significantly more likely to respond to my opener and lead to a date. Like if I was getting 20 matches a day from the one where I show my face, 5 matches a day where I'm not showing my face, but the one where I'm not showing my face actually led to equally the same amount of matches or more, but it was just a lot more time efficient. You can't really do that nowadays. Like you can't really have BDSM photos to that extent like you used to be able to. But again, this is saying that basically if you're a little mysterious, right, you can get away with not showing your face, which I think is very, very interesting data, right? So again, let's do a quick summary. What does the study tell us? Well, it tells us several things. One, not showing your face is basically the same thing as showing your face. My personal advice is still show your face from time, in some of your photos. I don't think you should have a whole profile where you don't show your face. But again, the data contradicts that, so maybe you guys should play around with doing that, Again, I'm fully willing to admit that maybe some of my theories were wrong. However, my other 2 were correct. I always said that you should, if you have the body, you should show it off, and the data definitely supports it. I always said that don't look directly at the camera, don't try to smile, look away from the camera, kind of have this mysterious look. And again, the data supports that, or you're better off looking away from the camera than looking at the camera and smiling like a jackass. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable. If you want to see more content like that, make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe, and if you're enjoying this video, then consider sharing with a friend or 2. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.